Well, Lee, 6 pages at the front, and the 3 pages at the back. Can only be Newcastle United. We're sitting on the fence again, complete shambles. Is the headline? Do you agree with that?
Well, it doesn't look very good, but I just think where do they go from here? How low can you sink? You know, it's
snake's belly.
Well, it's beyond that, isn't it? You know, it's beyond that, I think, and it's Saturday was just a really sad day. You know, I have to say, as a Newcastle United fan and I'm a journalist, that's probably one of the saddest days I think I've ever experienced at the club. You know, I know they've been relegated, I know there's been highs and lows, but for me that was just one of the saddest days. And the worst thing about it for me is that like the rest of the country are just laughing at Newcastle United, and we're providing them with something to be, you know, to have a laugh over a pint in the bars down in London. And
well, you know, you're right. I've been around a while, and I've never ever known times like this. You know, I mean, the main thing for me, I mean, this business about Mike Ashley selling the club, I mean, the whole world stopped yesterday when it came out. But for me, the city, as far as I've been aware, he's been trying to sell the club for 2 or 3 months now. So the situation hasn't really changed. But you know, he's come out and said that. But for me, the main problem, the immediate problem, is who's going to manage the club. I mean, you know, Chris Toon's a smashing lad. Wouldn't expect to be manager long term. Who's going to manage the club in the next 2 or 3 weeks while they're trying to sell it?
Well, Chris Hughton's in the hot seat at the moment, but I have to say I'm very worried about the whole thing, because I was speaking to Steve Howie this morning, and I put it to him about the relegation thing. Can Newcastle United get relegated? He says, well, they've got enough quality, but it can happen, and big teams can get sucked into it, you know. Yeah. And someone needs to come in and get control of the team, because, you know, no disrespect to Chris Hughton, but he's not a manager. Yeah,
if Tottenham win tonight, Sunderland will go in the bottom 3, and Newcastle will be 4th or bottom. And I mean, the only plus point I can see from the whole situation, well, there's 2 plus points. If Mike Ashley goes, there's a chance great chance that Kevin Keegan will come back. Or failing that, there's nobody can replace Kevin Keegan at this football club. But if there was one guy who could maybe come a little bit closer to it, is Alan Shearer. Alan Shearer would come back into the frame to be manager. And I mean, the whole tragedy of the situation summed up by the fact that Alan Shearer loves this club, he wants to manage this club, but he won't come anywhere near it under the current regime. But the only other good point I can think of is Newcastle's at least got 2 away games at Arsenal and Manchester United out the way. I think you said it last week, thank God for the 4 points that's in the bag.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, it is still early days, and while I never get carried away with the league table after, you know, up until about the 10, 11,
yeah, but
12
Newcastle
game mark.
If Newcastle were top of the table, we would be going potty and would be singing from the rooftops.
I wouldn't be told I'm winning the league, though.
Yeah, no, but we would be casting the situation.
Been down that road in 1996 before, so
yeah, you know, we would be shouting from the rooftops if Newcastle were top, and so we've got to you know, keep it all in perspective. You know, I mean, I saw you talking to Phil Brown. He couldn't get enough interviews in, and to be fair, I know you normally do the players, because they look at me and think, who's that old man? But we didn't ask for players on Saturday. We must stress that, because we were very sensible about it. What could the players say?
Well, it would have been unfair for them to come out under these circumstances. And you know, Mike Ashley brought out the statement last night, and you know, in a way, he had to respond to that, didn't he? Mm-hmm. The question that a couple of, you know, fans I've spoken to have said, why didn't he do this last week? You know, when it was all kicking off, because it spiralled completely out of control. Yeah. And you know, we haven't got a manager, and we're in a right mess. Yeah. So why did he not come out and make this statement earlier?
I don't think anybody would have physically attacked him. I mean, he would have got some verbal abuse, a lot of verbal abuse. But I mean, you know, sometimes we get that for some reasons.
Well, members of the media were attacked on Saturday. You know.
Yeah, I know. I mean, I don't know why they think that the media's got anything to do with this. Mm-hmm. So I mean, it's all doom and gloom. We can't say any other league. And of course, we're going to West Ham on Saturday, and You know, I know they got beat on Saturday, but there's going to be a bit of a carnival atmosphere. Gianfranco Zola taking over. I wouldn't back on Newcastle getting anything there. Then of course it's Spurs next Wednesday night, when we think the attendance will be, you know, rock bottom.
Yeah, and that's another sad thing as well. But I understand why it's happening, because Newcastle, you know, haven't won a trophy since 1969, and this is the one. This is a good chance to get through the next round. Against Spurs, but you know, unfortunately there won't be a full house to roll them on.
I think we should end on a positive note. I've got to say, Lee, I mean, I know you agree with us, that I thought Newcastle fans on Saturday absolutely magnificent. We appealed through the Chronicle, through Bob Moncur and Peter Beardsley, that whatever happens once the game starts, support your team, and they were absolutely magnificent. I was wrong on Saturday. I thought if Newcastle go a goal behind here, the fans will get edgy and they could turn. Because I mean, we've seen it before, and make it difficult for the players. But I've got to say to those guys out there, absolutely magnificent, and you deserve better than you're getting at the moment.